Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, so today I'm going to take you back to one of the most important battles in history. A battle that wasn't just about swords and shields, but about faith, strategy, and resilience. It's called the Battle of Badr. At a first glance, it might have seemed like a small clash in the vast desert of Arabia, but in reality, it was a turning point. A battle where 313 outnumbered men faced a force 3 times their size and still emerged victorious. How did they do it? How did a group of believers, armed with a little more than faith and determination, defeat one of the most powerful forces of their time? So, without further ado, let's dive to the story of the Battle of Badr. To understand this battle, we need to go back to 7th century Arabia. Islam was still in its early days, and the Muslims had just migrated to Medina after facing brutal persecution in Mecca. The Quraysh, the ruling tribe of Mecca, saw Islam as a direct threat to their power. They had already tortured, exiled, and even killed some of the early Muslims. But that wasn't enough. They want to whip them out completely. Now here's where things got interesting. A Quraysh trade caravan led by Abu Sufyan, one of the wealthiest Quraysh leaders, was returning from Syria to Mecca. The Muslims planned to intercept it, not as an act of war, but as a way to reclaim the wealth the Quraysh had stolen from them. However, Abu Sufyan was no fool. He realized the danger, changed his route, and sent an urgent call for backup. The Quraysh responded immediately, gathering an army of 10,000 men, equipped with hundreds of camels, cavalry, and the best weapons of the time. And what about the Muslims? They had just 313 fighters, 2 horse, and 70 camels, and many of them weren't even full armored. On paper, this battle should have been a massacre, but what happened next? It shook everyone. The two forces met at Badr, an important water source in the desert. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ didn't just march his troops in blindly. He positioned them strategically. He ensured they to control the water supply, forcing the Quraysh to fight on his terms. The battle started with a classic Arabian tradition. It was single combat duels. 3 warriors from each side step forward. On the Muslim side, there is Ali bin Abi Talib, Hamza ibn al-Muttalib, and Ubaydiyah ibn al-Harith, all legendary fighters. They faced the Quraysh champions, and within moments, the Quraysh warriors were slain. This was the first sign that the tide of battle was shifting. Then the full fight began. The Quraysh, confident in their numbers, charged forward, but the Muslims, despite being outnumbered, held their ground with discipline, faith, and intelligent tactics. The battlefield turned chaotic, swords clashing, racing, warriors fighting for their lives. And then something miraculous happened. The Quran describes how Allah sent angels to support the Muslims. Some warriors later report seeing figures in white riding alongside them, striking down the enemy. The Quraysh, who had started the battle with confidence, began to panic. One by one, their leaders fell. Abu Jahl, one of Islam's biggest enemies, was killed on the battlefield. The Quraysh realized they were losing fast. Within a few hours, their army was in full retreat. 70 of their men were dead. Another 70 were captured, and the Muslim only 14 martyrs. This was more than just a victory. It was a complete humiliation for the Quraysh. Before this battle, the Quraysh thought the Muslims were weak, insignificant, and after Badr, they knew Islam was a force to be reckoned with. This Battle of Badr wasn't just about swords and warriors. It carried powerful lessons that are still relevant today. The first one, Numbers don't determine victory. Even if you're outnumbered, the right strategy and mindset can turn the tide. And second, faith and perseverance matter. The Muslims didn't win because they had better weapons. They won because they believe in their cause. And the last one, leadership is crucial. Prophet Muhammad SAW wasn't just a warrior, he was a leader, a visionary, and a master strategist. The Battle of Badr was a turning point in history. It proved that truth and justice can overcome oppression, that even the impossible can become reality. Before this battle, the Quraysh saw the Muslims were weak and insignificant. And after Badr, they knew Islam was a force to be reckoned not with. This victory boosted the confidence of the Muslims, showing them that faith and perseverance could overcome even the most impossible odds. It also attracted new supporters, as people across Arabia began to take Islam seriously. But for the Quraysh, this wasn't just a loss. It was a wound to their pride, and they were determined to take revenge.